showcasing the cheek side of motherhood.
When I found content creation, I realized that this is more like my passion. Like I work Saturdays, Sundays, but it doesn't feel like work. Like I love what I do.
She's breaking all societal norms.
Present yourself in a very authentic way and be there to inspire rather than influence.
NewsX influencer A-List proudly recognizes Shrima Rai for influence in lifestyle. Hello and welcome. You're joining us on yet another episode of NewsX Influencer A-List. With us today on the broadcast is Shrima Rai. Shrima is known on the internet for redefining motherhood and bringing out the cheek style of motherhood. Am I right, Shrima?
Well, I'm trying, yes.
All right. So tell us about what you do firstly, the kind of content that you create.
So I mostly do everything from fashion, beauty to lifestyle. So I do cover a little bit of my fitness journey as a mom of two, and I do like to cook. So I do showcase a lot of cooking and recipes. And I also cover my love of fashion and beauty. And of course, the kids are a big part of my page as well. So it's like a lifestyle side of being a mother, but like handling everything.
So what is it like, Shrima, to be a mother and to be a blogger, to be an influencer? What is it like, Is there anything that ever comes in the way of you being yourself on the internet because you're a mother? Does that ever come in the way?
So I think for me, no. I think that's one of the main reasons and a driving factor to my blog is that I want to break all those like stereotypes and those boxes that, maybe even society might have a married woman or a mother put into. So I don't like to have any of those things in my blog, and I definitely don't see any limitations.
So how do you manage both, being a mother, attending to kids, and then also being an influencer full time? Are the kids looking up to you, or are they considering being a digital content creator in the future?
Well, I'll answer the first question because I love this question. I feel like on social media, people see a lot of times a very stylized, curated page, right? And whether you're an influencer or not, we can all go ahead and put out our best images and our best moments on the gram and on social media. So I'm really conscious of that. And because I do so much, whether I'm an influencer or during the time that I was working with a bank, I definitely don't think that I can be a working woman and do as much as I can by myself. So I never give that impression that, hey, I'm handling everything by myself. I'm doing cooking, cleaning, and everything. So I do have help at home. My husband is so supportive, and I have kept some help to help me with the kids as well. And I think sometimes it's okay to, verbalize that and say that. So we don't give other women complexes about, them being able to do everything themselves. So right from the beginning, I've always been really honest about that fact because I didn't want to mislead my audience to thinking that I'm like some sort of superwoman, because I don't think a woman should be pressurized to feel that.
So and to answer your... Go ahead.
And to answer your second question, no, the kids don't want to be digital content creators.
Okay. So you're very interesting that you pointed out that, societal norms do exist. Do you ever feel, Shrima, there are any societal barriers or any boxes, like you said during our conversation, you highlighted, are there any such boxes that you ever felt existed? And are you trying to sort of, push the glass ceiling and break those barriers?
Yes, absolutely. I did feel there were some boxes. I did feel that there were some expectations of me about how I would conduct myself as a married woman, or even like how I'm, handling the fashion and beauty world along with being a mother. How I dress, perhaps also what I choose to put out there on my page. Like, let's say, for example, if I'm putting out a swimsuit, I think that sometimes people can get very judgmental at times. You're a mom, you shouldn't be dressing like that, etc. And these type of things are exactly why I have a page like I do, because I want to sort of break all those stereotypes. And yes, I did feel it. And that's why I sort of decided to create a page that was absolutely against that type of thinking or that boxing.
So, very interesting that you mentioned that, people raise their eyebrows when you put out certain content. So like you said, if you're putting out a bikini picture, then there are questions that are raised. Where is the line then, Shreema, between empowerment and between, being objectified on digital media? Because as women, we face that a lot, right? There is constant
Yeah.
objectification that also happens. Where do you draw that line?
I think that line can be drawn by by the way you conduct yourself. I can be sexy in a sari and I can be sexy in a two-piece. To be very honest with you, that's how I feel. I think it's all about the way you conduct yourself and the way that you present yourself in that attire.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with whether you're feeling objectified or not. I think that's the best way forward for
and that also should never be something that is the prime focus, right? Because at the end of the day, you're a digital content creator. And when we look at celebrities, celebrities are not, such questions are not put out for them. Do you think it's different in the digital media, digital media space? Do you think there's a certain difference that comes in?
Yeah, to a little extent, yes, I do. I think that because people don't see us necessarily as someone who has a social media page, they don't necessarily see you as a celebrity, right? They see you just as like, their neighbor, perhaps, or the mom in the neighborhood. So yeah, there is a little bit of a differentiation there.
So you mentioned that, you were a banker. And from that, you went on to be a social media influencer. You do fashion, you do beauty, you do lifestyle. What is that like? Why move from, a job that is considered to be rather, and, quote unquote, stable to a job that people say, is unstable and what is the future? Why that transition, if I may ask you?
So I always wanted to do something creative. And I was always interested, honestly, as a child in singing and acting and, like more creative lines and writing. I used to love to write. But I think that like somewhere down the line, I knew that I was expected to do something a little bit more stable in my career, coming from a traditional South Indian family. And so I definitely wanted, to go ahead and get a business management degree and have a resume with a bank, that I can always fall back on. That's really the honest answer. But over the years, I realized after I had done the banking job for a while, I realized that I liked it, but I didn't love it. And when I found content creation, I realized that this is more like my passion. Like I work Saturdays, Sundays, but it doesn't feel like work. Like I love what I do. And I think I'm really grateful to have been able to find it and pursue it the way that I am.
So, you're of course blue ticked on Instagram, which is something that we consider to be the epitome, if I may say, of being an influencer, right? From where you see it, Shreema, is it more about the influence that you have on the audience or the kind of people and the number of people, in fact, that are following you? From what perspective do you see this?
Well, I got the blue tick a little earlier. I have not reached like the 100K number yet or anything like that. But I did have a little bit of media attention in the sense that I did compete in a Glad Rags Mrs. India 2009 contest. And I had some news articles. I was really lucky, to have some media houses sort of, take my interviews and my journey. And I think all of that helped with my presence. I think your presence, especially on in the media, also helps you with that blue tick, if that's what you're asking. And it is something that I feel when people see it on a social media page, it just sort of gives, I'm really being honest with you, I think it just gives a certain amount of legitimacy, to that page. Okay. And I think that's why it's so important.
And that legitimacy, also probably comes from, being covered, like you said, in the news media or, having articles posted about you. So then, how important is it that we bring television to digital and digital to television? The fact that we just integrate the two, combine the two and make a larger ecosystem, if I may say so.
I absolutely agree with you on this thought. I think social media and also television and these type of mediums are wonderful. And I think that they sort of run almost parallel. It's just
Yeah.
that they need to synergize a little bit better. And the amount of good work that you can do with this type of, audience and the type of reach that we could combine would be like amazing. And I think that's one of the most positive things that I can say about, having this type of reach that television has and having the type of reach that social media has.
So, have your family and friends completely accepted the fact that you're an influencer now, or is somebody still going and saying, why Shrima, why this?
I think most of them have accepted it, and they don't fully understand everything. Of course, it is a little bit of a different line. It's something of like a new age type of career, right? So in that manner, I don't think they completely understand it, but I definitely feel like I won them over as far as the respect and the fact that this is what I want to do and I'm passionate about it.
Yeah, circling back to where we started, because I'm running out of time. One message, Shrima, if you could put out there for mothers, who want to do digital content creation, what is it that they should keep in mind, or what are the advantages that you see as a mom blogger on the internet?
I think, there's two questions. So one is, if I had to speak to somebody who's newly starting out as a mom blogger or any type of blogging, fashion, lifestyle, anything, I would say that, present yourself in a very authentic way and be there to inspire rather than influence.
Yeah.
And secondly, as far as, what is it that, they can take from it, I would definitely say it can be a source of great inspiration for you. You gain so much confidence from it. You learn so much. There's a wonderful community out there in the blogging space. And also, it's really nice to have a job like this because you can manage, the kids. It's like work from home and creative. So if you have that in you, then go for it. If you're completely business minded, then probably not for you because it takes a lot of creativity.
Yeah. All right. Shrima, thank you so much for being with us on the broadcast. It has been an absolute pleasure having you, and more power to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
A style icon in the digital fashion space.
The dream of doing something bigger in the world of fashion. Like, we loved styling, but we wanted more. And we've always had this vision of having this kind of house.
She's a mother, influencer, and trendsetter.
On one hand, social media has allowed voices to be heard. Some for the good, some for the bad, of course. So like I said, it's a double-edged sword.
NewsX influencer A-List proudly recognizes Mithali Sagar for influence in fashion. Hello and welcome. You're joining us on yet another episode of NewsX Influencer A-List. With us today is Mithali Sagar. Now, Mithali is the co-founder and CEO of House of Misu. Mithali, firstly, tell us about House of Misu. How did it begin, and what has the journey been like?
Where to begin? It's been such a long journey, such a fulfilling journey. I have the greatest fortune for being able to work with my best friend. This was a dream of ours that we've had since we were in school together. And we've known each other since we were 6 years old in school. So it's been a really long time. So we started out as stylists, right, Trini and Susanna, with a dream of doing something bigger in the world of fashion. Like, we loved styling, but we wanted more. And we've always had this vision of having this kind of house, where there's everything under it, whether it's lifestyle, fashion, food, beauty, because we're actually passionate about all these things. We cook, we're very into skincare, we're very into interiors, we're basically just very into aesthetics in general, and being creative. So it just made sense. And as Instagram started to pick up, and as social media and basically influencing started to pick up, we just somehow blended into it. And when we started about 10 years ago or so, there wasn't anything like an influencer. We were just seeing something happening internationally and thinking that, hey, there is a void that we could fill in our own country. Let's give this a try. And we literally started with just putting up, style tips and some outfit posts and, just some very basic things on Facebook. Then Instagram sprung up. We shifted over to Instagram, and then it's just been going and going and going since then. And every day is different. Every week is different. Every project is different. There's never a dull moment. We've done everything from being one of the first influencers to go to Paris Fashion Week to traveling to like some really unique destinations for work. We've done so many things that I can't even wrap my head around or begin to describe to you, but that's basically our journey, and it's wonderful and it's growing. Now that I have a child as well, it's changing, but it's great. And I can't wait to see what else is in store for us.
All right, so we're going to come and talk about Krish, your baby, in just a bit. But before we do that, first, tell me, so when you moved in, you said, 10 years ago, there were not a lot of people. At least in India, the digital media space was not as established. Do you think that you had a certain first movers advantage, Mithali?
I certainly do think we had a bit of an advantage when we started out. However, we've always tried to maintain a very sort of streamlined way of creating content because we have a certain kind of followership. We're not trying to be completely mass. Yeah. I don't think a 15-year-old would relate to me, but someone my age, slightly younger, slightly older would. So we don't have the most followers in our country as far as influencers go, but we have a type of follower and we have a loyal follower, and we're very happy with the followership that we have.
But Mithali, why digital media? Because you could have started a nice boutique that is something that was there 10 years ago. Why take to the digital space?
So basically, because it was something that I saw growing at a very fast pace internationally. I was studying in the US basically when influencers like Chiara Fragni, Brian Boy was really sprouting. Christina Bazan, they were super hot back then, and I mean they are still super hot. I saw this happening internationally, and I was like, if it's happening there, it's going to come to India. It always does. So if this is something that we get into now, like you mentioned earlier, we would have an advantage. And even like I was saying, even though we may not have the most followers, we are a well-known brand.
Right.
As House of Nisu, because we've been there for a really long time. We're a trusted brand, and we've kind of stuck with our own USP. So we have things that sort of people think of when they think of House of Nisu. So because we saw this void, because we realized that, hey, digital is the next big thing. There's a lot that can be done here. And we've seen it's been growing at an extremely rapid pace. There's a lot that, one can do with it, a lot of creativity that comes into play. And you can really monetize on it if you think strategically, if you really sort of have a business-minded path laid out in front of you. And if you're, a little bit serious about it.
Yeah. Also, your page is very personal because, I can see your baby there. I can see videos of Krish. Not only, so your personal profile is, of course, locked, but there's House of Nisu. And then there's a profile that I've noticed that is there for Krish as well. Tell us about that, Mithali. What exactly is this profile? Do you hope that one day Krish is going to grow up and take to that profile?
Not necessarily. So I've actually been asked this question before, and funnily enough, it wasn't my decision to start that profile. It was actually my husband. And my husband, who's actually not as social media happy as I would be, he's a little bit more reserved. He seemed to believe that this would be a good thing for Krish because let's be real, guys. It is an investment into his future to some degree. He can use it if he wants to, or it can, he can just let it go if he doesn't want to. But it's something for us as parents to be like, hey, this is what I do. This is my job. This is my career. I've seen it grow. If I can create this and sow the seeds for my son, why wouldn't I? Because like this is what I do. I'm not trying to be like, hey, I'm trying to make my son into a public figure, or hey, I'm trying to like force my son to do something. Not at all. What I put up there is like fun stuff, things that we're shooting and things that I'm anyways posting on my own page half the time. It's just that now it's for him. It's for people who like to see him. And I know that a lot of people who come to my House of Nisu page may not want to see 1,000 pictures of Krish, because they want to come and see fashion and beauty and things that they're used to seeing on my page. So this is for those people who want to see Krish.
I'm very intrigued. You called it an investment. We've heard in the past that let's say a mother or a father who is an investment banker, they'll often, open an account or something like that, a savings account for the future of the child. You're now calling a social media account an investment for your baby. Tell us about that. Do you think the norms are changing now? Do you think we're heading towards a completely different space as far as parenting is concerned?
Well, I mean, we all know that if you make a social media page successful, if you have a strong following, not just a strong following, but a loyal following, people who care about you, people who care about what you're doing, what you're saying, that is something that you can use either to, spread a good message or to turn into a business or to help promote your business. So this is something that maybe one day, like I said, he can use for either of these things, or he can be like, Mom, I'm not interested in this at all. I want to be a UN ambassador. But maybe I can use this to talk about the causes and concerns that I have. So whatever it is, it gives him a chance to have his voice heard. Or he can be like, I want to be a lawyer and this is nothing, like I just delete the account. And that's fine too. So it's literally something that gives him the opportunity to use if he wants or get rid of if he doesn't.
So what advantages do you think, Mithali, as a mother who is also an influencer, do you think that, you have a certain advantage when it comes to maybe acclimatizing Krish with the digital space? Because, for me at least, I'm going to tell you, we went out into the digital media space and we had absolutely no idea. Right? Because our parents had not been out there. They did not know the do's and the don'ts. When you go out at night, parents can tell you, ye karo, wo mat karo. Digital media space, nothing of that sort. Do you think you have a certain advantage as a mother who's an influencer?
I think my position and my experience with the space, and not just because I'm in it and I work, with digital, also because I'm old enough to have seen a time when it didn't exist. Right. So I've seen it from the start to what it is now. So, the generations who have come after me have kind of been slam dunked into it. And they've found it at a time where it's really rumbling with things that are not necessarily positive. A lot of people develop anxiety, stress, different kinds of depression disorders, etc., because of social media now. But I have seen a time in social media where this wasn't an issue, at the early time. So because of all these experiences, I think I'm able to guide his journey through social media in a way where perhaps he won't get sucked into these, these rat traps. That's at least the hope, because at the end of the day, he's his own person, and how he experiences and perceives things is different from how I do, and even what I say may not necessarily completely change how he perceives things. But hopefully I will be able to give him a leg up there.
Okay, so then Mithali, was it better before social media, or do you think it's better now?
I think it has its pros and its cons. On one hand, social media has allowed voices to be heard. Some for the good, some for the bad, of course. So like I said, it's a double-edged sword. I think it also helps a lot of people express their creativity. People who are, otherwise reclusive or shy, this has become a safe haven for them. But then again, on the other hand, it's also a haven for trolls. But you've got to be careful how you put yourself out there, and you've got to know that you have to have a bit of thick skin, especially if you're someone who's in a space like mine as an influencer or a celebrity or whatever. But I think right now where it's at, even though there is the danger of, people looking at skinny, beautiful women and getting anxiety about these things, I think people are also starting to realize that all that is not real. There's a big trend now of showing the real you, whether it's your like post mom belly, or whether it's like your skin breakout. There's this trend. So I think we're shifting a little bit away now from that perfect, beautiful, face-tuned model type of profile to the more real profiles. And that's what's trending. That's what's getting the likes. That's what's getting the traction. Absolutely. So I think we're starting to get to a better place, and I hope that continues. But you never know, honestly. The world and life is unpredictable.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mithali. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but this has been a very, very interesting conversation. And we're going to remember the fact that social media profiles are investments, and that is how they should be seen. All right. Thank you so much, Mithali, and more power to you.
Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.